Dudley's, well, where are they? Anyway, the next on the list is Jack Victory. Oh, they like Jack Victory.
He was there for us, but he's having a shit.
Hello and welcome back to the only Wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever I am joined to my left, and he is in Hardcore Heaven. It is Jack Chan.
Hello.
And to my right, oh my god, he's going to Hardcore Hell. It is Sam Chan.
Hello.
I am your host, Balls. No, I'm your host, Ben Chan.
Purgatory.
Yeah, Purgatory, yeah. How come no one's done
Hardcore Hell?
Yeah, now a pay-per-view called Purgatory. I think that's a good name for a pay-per-view. Purgatory.
Yeah,
very odd.
In the middle, so
it's just like you've
don't bother
there
for
for a bit.
It could be like XPW when they had to wait for like 3 hours.
That's what they call their interlude. Purgatory. Them cleaning all the glass to then filling up the glass again.
We're in Purgatory again. But we are going back to May 16th, 1999. The industry has never been hotter. And ECW are putting on...
I don't know about WCW.
Well, that's true, yes. They're putting on Hardcore Heaven. Jack, you like everything ECW. Well, you like a lot of hardcore.
I like everything.
Have you enjoyed a nice little ECW interlude on our podcast?
Yeah. I have enjoyed an interlude of ECW. It's always a nice change of pace.
Yeah. So?
Get that bottle in your...
It was okay. I mean, I know what to expect at this point. It ain't as bad as it's going to get.
Yeah, it does get a lot worse.
It gets too shit by the end of it. Hello.
It does. By the end of it, everyone tries to be ECW, but for whatever reason, they pick the worst bits of ECW and just decide that's what we will be.
Chilly Willy.
Yes. But the UK number one on May 16th, 1999 was I Want It That Way. Or I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. eBay. The eBay.
Weird Al took it a minute better.
It did actually, to be fair. And the US, the US one does actually appear later on in the podcast, in the show. Because Super Crazy holds up a sign that says Super Crazy is living the vida loca.
Okay, now.
Yes. Living the crazy life, is that what it means? It's got to be in it because crazy is loca, isn't it? Living the crazy life.
Something like that, yeah.
I
have
Viva
read
Viva La Vida is a song by Coldplay.
Viva La Vida.
But Viva La Vida.
Viva is forever, right?
Yeah.
Viva forever. Both points go.
Forever life.
La Vida.
Well, based on this, La Vida would be the life. And then Loca, crazy.
Yeah.
Living forever, crazy.
The Spanish always put them in weird orders.
Yeah, they do. They just do what they want, really. Canada went with Kiss Me by Kiss. No, not
Kiss!
Sixpence None the Richer.
Sixpence None the Richer. I think Canada probably won this.
Yeah, that's a good song.
That is a good song. And the Aussies.
I think I know.
The Aussies, they went with No Scrubs by
Still?
the TLC. Yes. Well, I thought that was released earlier.
Well, released it like 94.
Yeah,
It's Australia though. Everything just reaches Australia years after.
I mean, the
fact.
times them like a day or so in front, but everything else just does the catch
They
up.
probably had an Ashes on there, so they ain't bothered about
Yeah. Who cares about music?
Hi, God, it was Cricket World Cup this year.
Exactly.
I think they won it.
Let's not
beat
bother with
Pakistan in the
music
final.
for a while.
The box office was topped by The Mummy. which is a good film. I like them.
And then The Rock come and ruined it.
Yeah, exactly.
A massive scorpion.
I'm sure there's a new Scorpion King with like Summer Rae and stuff in
There
it.
was a different one without him, I'm sure of that.
But the two wrestling women in it, and they have a match.
Bull Nakano.
Not Bull Nakano. No. She's not the only wrestling.
Bertha Faye.
Bertha Faye, yeah. She's the Scorpion Queen.
Is it Sting?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's the Black Scorpion King. There you go.
No one wants that. And the world of sport. West Bromwich Albion had finished their season. So there was no terrible weekend.
We finished 12.
The year after.
98-99.
The year after, not so well.
We nearly went relegated. Nearly got relegated.
We nearly went relegated.
Well, we'd actually only won once in about 9 at the end of the season. That was against Bury.
I'm dead.
But Liverpool were still playing. They were playing their final game of the season as they beat Wimbledon 3-0.
How that you wumble?
I think like the year after you lost to Wimbledon, and it was one of the few teams that actually lost to Wimbledon.
Because they went down.
Royal,
and even Watford beat us that year. And Bradford beat us last game of the season. Stay up.
Brilliant.
God, we were shit.
Speaking of shit, how about audio problems to start the show? Because we're in
ECW.
Poughkeepsie? I think it's Poughkeepsie, New York. So we're not in Philly. And we get the usual tinny microphone problems that plagued ECW wherever they went, it seemed. Joey Styles stands in the ring and welcomes us to the show, only to be interrupted by our contender in the main event, Chris Candido, who's with Tammy Lynn Sitch, otherwise known as Skip and Sonny.
Her looked awful there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance later on, and normally I feel quite like, come on, we should be a bit classier than that. But I think they're probably accurate.
Yeah.
It's not a good time.
They don't look like...
Well, I mean, it's not a good time, and it seemingly hasn't recovered.
Now she's in prison.
Yes. She did like about 10 years in her.
17.
Yeah, killed someone there.
17 years, yeah.
So she'll probably serve a decade in... That's mental, isn't it, really?
Well, they're all full.
It's a gimmick, though, eh?
She come out. Ooh, boss man. She did try to choke Vince, did it? Probably like it.
No, I ain't going there. I was gonna go. Vince has gone now. The audio is awful. It's absolutely awful. Candido tells us, and you have to really strain to understand what he's saying, that he's got some insurance to stop interference later on.
He's a bit like Crash Ollie, eh? Candido, when I look at him, he reminds me a bit of Crash Ollie.
I think Candido's got absolutely everything apart from the fact he just cannot talk, can he?
No, he's a lot like Crash Ollie Elroy Jetson. He's sort of like that other.
I think Crash Ollie's a better promo.
Crash Ollie's a better promo because I think he is like a little weedy bloke who, and he does moan a bit, but Candido, he tries to be somebody, Yeah, he needs to be the chicken.
I think he's just a bit bitter at this point that his run in WWE hasn't worked out.
Well, it's hard to say he's small when the champion comes out and he's smaller.
Yes, and that's the point. It's not necessarily because he's small. I think, there's a lot of people say that if he was born 20 years later, he'd probably be a world champion.
He would be 5-star.
He would. I still think he would be working in AEW.
Yeah, he still wouldn't be a world champion, I don't think. Or he'd have a token.
Or
I do like Candido. I think Candido's a good worker, but you can tell this period of ECW, they really are struggling to know who's going to be there next week. You know what I mean?
think they're struggling to know what they want to be.
You can see that as well with some of the style. This isn't your archetypical ECW show in many ways.
Pots and pans.
And yet, storyline wise, it really is.
Yeah.
Because it's just strange. Anyway, Dudley Boys come out. They head out with Sign Guy and Joel Gertner. Bubba promises.
Hey, Big Dick.
He does make a surprise appearance later.
Surprise bonus Dick.
Yeah.
Surprise bonus
Dick in the back, eh?
None of that by this point.
And I did.
Was he in prison? Because I think that's why he left. He got arrested.
He's on this.
Oh. That's why he disappeared for a
it.
while, though. But he did. I thought he was just some random mook who got Chris Chetty.
No, that was Big Dick.
That was Big Dick.
Yeah, it's strange because I think
Must be
this was
cold.
his official return to the company, and they did it like in a backstage inconsequential skit. But anyway, we'll get to that later on. Bubba promises that nobody is getting to Mr. Candido, and then shows off their tag team titles, which they have held, and they will continue to tell you for the 6th time. I never quite understand the brag of having won the title a lot of times, because it is means you've lost it a lot of times as well.
I think they have another 2 rounds. Are they 8-time ECW tag champs?
Yeah, 8 or 9 times. I'm pretty sure.
They never had tag team champions on the rebirth of ECW, did they?
No, they only had the world magazine.
And even after that, they changed it.
And you'll be happy with that.
ECW.
I wasn't happy with that. Chris Candido tells us that the Dudleys will see to Taz and he'll win the belt. But Taz, he ain't backing down though. I mean, I do love Taz's theme. It's so good, isn't it?
What's it? It's their own version of the Anthrax theme.
That's it,
which
I thought it was War Machine by
it is the War Machine album.
Oh, and then
he had Anthrax before.
Right, okay.
Well, it just suits him. It really suits him.
He's got a really good stylisation, and he's the towel and the theme and the walk.
He's the star.
I'm going to say that you look at it.
That's his problem.
He has to, I understand why he tried it, but he got it. This is his company, like.
This
is always going to be your company. Anyway, he comes out, he clotheslines down the Dudleys and demands the bell sound. So we get straight into our main event for the title.
Like a typical insurance company, you don't do anything.
Always
fuck you over.
Awful insurance. No, don't worry, there's plenty of more.
Don't worry, nothing's going to happen to you. Down, that's it. Fucking hell.
German suplex by Taz to Candido after a boot, and then we get a Tazplex. Candido hits a power bomb, goes to the top. The big headbutt is missed, and he's hooked in a Tazplex, and the Taz mission is locked in, and pretty much immediately Candido taps out, and then rolls, and we never see him again for the rest of the show. It's just bizarre. Like,
when does he get to WCW? Is it 99 or 2000?
Bizarre. It can't.
I don't know.
It can't be far from here.
I think it's 2000.
But I don't know that he's injured or something. But
that's all I can think.
You built him up as your contender for the show.
Well, it's the title match as well. So people could have bought the pay-per-view for all of this.
Thank God.
And within 10 minutes, it's over.
The Dudley Boys, after hit a 3D, and Candido, as I say, is already gone. I mean, there ain't a lot to say to it, but thoughts on that match?
Well, it's a match. It's a skit. I mean, I can only assume he's injured. So they did it quick, and they did it at first as the surprise. And it'll always pop the crowd, and the crowd like it. So if the crowd like it, then I can say it's okay. But...
I mean, it did pop the crowd, and the crowd were hot. I think it's just, I hope it was because of injury and not a swerve because of a swerve, which sometimes it was. Candido.
This is what it was getting.
Candido would have had it. They could have had a credible match because you got Tammy outside and stuff. You could have.
Was
got
there the
around.
one swailing? Because some woman kept swailing, but I don't know if it was her or in the crowd.
I don't know who was swailing.
Do me heading. Somebody who kept shouting, do me heading.
But it's not the greatest start to a pay-per-view I've ever seen.
Well, this is just what happened. They had a little bit of a promo, goes into a match, then ends up with a schmoz, and then a promo, then a match, and then the pay-per-view sort of starts. That was sort of what happened. And one of my notes is shit insurance policy.
Yeah, they are.
Because you bought them out, they got one clothesline, and then they just hung about for a bit. It's like, all right, then fuck you.
The biggest difficulty I have with it is that you're sacrificing your top tag team to your top star in the company.
I did think that.
And not only that, not only are you satisfied with doing that straight away, you do it again later. Like, it never makes much sense. There's enough big muscle in this company for it not to be the Dudley Boys.
Well, if it was just Big Dick Dudley, bring him back that way.
Yeah.
Instead of having the other two, just have him.
Yeah.
At least it's Summers. I mean, 911's gone somewhere.
I don't know where
or wherever. But, as you say, bring in bloody Viscera. You bought him in the year before.
It's got to be Viscera.
Yeah.
I know, he's in the
The
fence.
only muscle that you can have.
No, but you know what I mean? Bring in a big fat, big Sal.
Yeah,
See him later. FBI, that's what they do.
Yeah, I just think
Something like that.
there's ways. If you're going to get the Dudley Boys, I mean, they did lay out Taz with the 3D, and Taz did sell.
After the match.
After the match, did sell. So I suppose in that sense they've heated him back up. But we're not finished yet. Cyrus has appeared in the crow's nest.
Oh, Don Callis' crew eight.
Yeah, with
This
Joey
confused
Styles.
me, this big did. Where he was just having a go at him. What was he?
Yeah, I don't know whether
accusing
this
him of
was
having a
I don't know that this is like the first show where he
having
appeared.
a wank in there or something.
Because it was odd. It was a
Well,
weird
that's what he
sort
said
of...
or something.
Yeah,
Don't
he
you
did say he
accuse him
was
of
like...
saying like he ain't got his trousers on or something?
Yeah, he did say...
Like he's saying, I know you jerk off a lot,
Yeah,
or something like that. I thought, hang on a minute.
Yeah. ECW. ECW. He's going to join Joey on commentary anyway. Taz sells the 3D up the ramp, and the Dudleys seemingly are awaiting their title defence. Bobber reminds the crowd that they are looking at the 6-time ECW Tag Team Champions. They go a little inside as they say that they hacked up the Sandman. Obviously, the Sandman currently being Hardcore Heaven.
Oh yeah, he is.
In WCW. They split up the Eliminators, and Perry Saturn now wears a dress.
I don't think so. I think at this point he'd stopped having the dress.
Yeah.
He was teaming with Benoit.
The Dudleys then turn on the crowd by putting over
Didn't they say something about beating up Tanaka and sending him back to Japan?
yeah, and then they end by saying that they kick the asses of RVD and Sabu, and that is the first time the crowd sort of turn on them. The rest they were fine with. They issue an open challenge to anyone with the balls. And out
Cherry Willis.
balls.
Balls. We didn't want literal balls.
He is so over with the crowd. The crowd love balls.
I think part of it is good. Yeah, that's
Everyone loves balls.
Everybody's like a carry-on. Ooh, Maidford. They ought to have had that every time he did the jab instead of balls.
Just Kenneth Williams.
Just a different Kenneth Williams sound, and then it ends with St James left. That should have been it.
I think it's mainly to do with his theme as well.
Yeah, but he looks like one of them, don't he? Like, I mean,
Yeah, he works.
He looks like a dirty tramp. No, he looks like he stinks.
I like Balls I like Balls Mahoney because he made the most out of his career. Like, he has absolutely no right to be like looked upon by wrestling fans and go, he was a wrestler.
Yeah.
But he was a wrestler, and he was fairly high up in the card.
And it's weird that the Fed, when they relaunched ECW, they looked at him and went, "We'll have him."
Well, I think that exactly. It's just weird. It just is strange. I reckon he must have just been a nice guy.
He was definitely in the right company.
He was supposed to be a nice bloke. He just stank.
Yeah.
He looked like
He was a nice bloke, but he was a bit. Although he had to go at somebody when he was Santa Claus Day or something, he had to go at Vince or something.
Yeah, he's already been in the Fed.
He's already been in the Fed.
It's mad, isn't it, though?
Santa.
That is mad.
WWF guy.
He went from Santa to Balls.
Oh well, Balls lays in his balls jabs,
career.
and he gets a super kick to Diva and then a slam to Bubba. He absolutely I don't know whether Bubba does him a real good service by trying to sell his arm from my hip. Yeah, he's like, it's the worst elbow I have ever seen from the top.
Nobody wants their balls to slip.
It's not flying, it's falling with style.
That's not style.
What a lot of style, yeah.
That's the equivalent of wearing a pair of shorts and one of them hangs out.
Is the balls dropped?
Yeah.
Your balls have dropped.
It is a very much a ball drop.
The
The crowd are unforgiving, and then he hits a nice belly to belly on Devon. Balls goes high, gets a double backdrop from the top, and this then it brings out, well, Highway to Hell or the rip-off on the network. Which
It brings out copyright-friendly Highway to Hell.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were not watching the DVD or the VHS version, which would have had the proper themes.
Yeah.
The network theme is shit. But out comes...
Did they even have Highway to Hell on SummerSlam 98? Oh, no, they cut that off.
Spike walks through the crowd. He's definitely over. Double low blow. It's an acid drop whilst the Nutcracker Suite is hit by Balls. The match is pretty much won, but Sign Guy and Joel pull out the referee. Spike then is launched onto the Dudleys, who then just do like a fall away slam right over the top onto the concrete. This bloke earns his money.
Your gimmick is we will throw you about the place.
Well, it gets a holy shit chance. I mean, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the fact that he's just getting thrown gets a holy
and
shit
yet he's
chance.
the same size as your world champ. He's getting chucked about in your world
Sorry,
champ.
he's got no muscle, though, is he?
That's true.
No definition.
Yeah.
Weedy man.
Ball starts his jabs again, but takes Devon's flying forearm. Bubba then screams down the camera and tosses Spike back inside. The crowd just show him love. There's a big Samoan drop. Sign Guy gets the table. Spike then nearly steals it with a roll up before charging into Bubba's boot. Bubba then sets up Spike, and after a bit of back and forth, does fold Spike in half with a powerbomb through the table. Balls makes the save, takes an inverted DDT from Devon. There's 3D to Spike, but Balls uses the chair to stop the pin, and then he absolutely waffles Devon and Bubba with the chair to the head. Gertner tickled. I know which one of us will hate this spot. Joe Gertner gets in. He tickles the back of Balls with the chair, and then he does this sort of weedy little dance.
Oh, that little dance.
It's quite funny, in fairness to him. Dances
It's
around.
what it is, eh?
And then he throws lit matches at Balls. And then still does his sort of dance around. This all leads to the story arc throughout the show, amazingly. But Balls takes a drink of lighter fluid and then blows fire in the face of Joel.
He did that a few times, though.
Yeah, that was his spot, wasn't it? The fire.
Yeah, I mean... And to be fair, it was as good as you can look.
Great balls of fire.
Good, yeah.
And then, great balls of fire.
Balls of fire.
He should have come back at that event, shouldn't he, really?
Really Lewis.
The crew rush out, and in the melee, 3D to Balls, and it is over. The tag champs have retained. I think it was a tag title match. Who knows?
It was, yeah.
Who knows?
Overall, I thought it was all right. It didn't overstay its welcome. I think it got all the hits in. The fire bit was well done. I enjoyed Spike's bit. She's a bump machine. The Dudleys looked mean and nasty and really played heel. There was no sort of trying to be cool. They were the heels. I can't really argue with it. I thought it was okay. Sam?
I think it was okay what it was, but it's the usual promo match. Smars, so you know, was what it was. And to be honest, with the Dudleys, obviously that was the top heels within ECW, and then they was constantly feuding with Spike, plus insert partner here, which was Balls or
anyone who could
Jeff, if he was around, he'd have been with him. So, but obviously, Spike being chucked about was entertaining to watch. And then seeing Balls blow the fire after, I was like, oh, bloody hell, what happened to you?
It's amazing, though, really, that all four of them probably reached as much of their potential as could be. Like, the Dudleys are probably a top 5 tag team in the world ever. Balls definitely got the most out of his career. And Spike, he's just loved, isn't he? He just is loved.
It's just, you know, throw the little banner around. Hey,
he's just so good, though. I don't know what it... I think you'd be hard-pressed to watch a Spike match and go, oh, I don't like Spike.
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought everything hit the mark. Everybody looked good. The Dudleys played the characters well. Balls is over with all the chair shots. Spike gets thrown around, which is his gimmick. Balls got the fire gimmick in, and he did it to Joel, so everybody else was protected. He was actually, important as a character. And the 3Ds retain the titles, which is the right thing to do because they're the only team they've got. So I think it's all in all, and if they had stayed welcome, it's only like 9 minutes or something like that. So it's a very good opener, I think. I know there's a match before, but that ain't really
one thing I think that ECW did better probably than any other company at this time is they made their champions matter. The tag team champions felt like the top tag team, and in this sense felt like the top heel group. RVD as the TV champion is a brilliant champion, and Taz definitely should have that title. He is the man of the show, so I think they did really use their titles well. Moving forward then, so thankfully for those taking notes, we get a video package so I can have a break. And, Yeah, that's the pre-show.
I thought the pay-per-view just started then.
It'd be amazing if on the DVD they remove those two matches.
And then all of a sudden you just got Bubba coming out challenging Taz. What happened?
The hell?
He's super, he's crazy, so we call him Super Crazy. He's only 24 though, and someone is lying on their birth certificate. He's not 24. Look at the state of that
I had
man's
to have
head.
a go with Joey on this. Because he was on about he used to be in the Fed and they called him Super Loco and he goes, oh, the bloody creative department should have racked the brand to come up with that. And I thought, were you calling him the exact same thing?
Not only that, I don't know what was happening with.
What them saying is he was called Super Crazy anyway. He went to the Fed
And they called
and
it.
they just changed him to Loco instead.
Which
of
is crazy.
So
anyway.
he's saying,
I know.
yeah,
but
I know.
I'm saying it ain't very creative to
Yeah.
change one word.
I
I
mean,
understand what he's saying, so I
I
don't get why you don't get that.
The main problem I have is that Joey Styles is awful on this. He has to. There's a couple of times in this broadcast where he has to repeat the same line 3 times to try and get it
Yeah.
to say
because he fucked it up the first
all the
time.
time. Yeah.
Sounds
I
like
don't know
Jerry
what
Lawler
he-
on that on 2K game with the puppet
I
logo.
don't hate Joe. Obviously, you'll be hard pressed to hate Joey Styles as much as Sam. I don't hate Joey Styles as much as Sam, and I think
Overrated.
I do think he's got a style that suits ECW. Tonight is not his night.
Well, I mean, to be fair to him, he has to call everything on his own all the time.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do that, so I'll always give him credit for that.
I will as well, but I don't think he ever
I ain't saying
transitioned.
that ain't difficult.
I think sometimes he just don't let there be a bit of dead air, which is
No.
fine.
And I don't think that helps them when you've got Cyrus, who's definitely green on the mic
Yeah.
in many
He
ways.
just pops
But
in
it
every
doesn't.
now and
I don't think they would. I think sometimes I always think, well, you might be better off just on your own because you're not forming a 2-man booth. You know what I mean? You've got to let Cyrus be the
then.
Bobby
Don't bounce
Heenan,
off of me.
and there's times where I just oh god. But just in general, so I thought that there was almost like post production, and it had gone wrong.
Yeah, like they just thought, oh, fuck you, let's just
It's leaving in. No one will care anyway.
No, not now.
Now, Tucker's music 1 is awful. It's fucking terrible. But 2, isn't he in the Fed?
He's got the Fed.
He's got the Fed
Got
thing
the
on, and then they
red
said,
flag
oh,
on.
he used to be in the Fed, and I thought, well, hang on, he's at Mania the following year in the Hardcore Battle Royal.
Yeah.
He's still with Food
I was
Up.
going to say, I'm sure in the Rumble at
He
2000, he texted the bump,
Yeah,
didn't
he takes the bump, breaks his face.
Well, they had the thing with
And he's at
ECW there, so I can only assume
Yeah.
that they just were using Tucker and just sending that.
But the day said them
He's
Food
been
Up.
in 97, though,
Yeah, he was light
Did it
heavyweight
before.
champ.
Yeah,
No, in ECW.
Oh, yeah, he was with the Kaientai, wasn't it? The
Kaientai,
BWO
yeah.
Japan, or except Funaki.
So Tucker definitely is going to play the heel all the way through the match, which I think the match needed a definitive. This is the
Give me
heel.
someone to boo.
Yes, we get the nice ring introductions. Then Tucker hits a springboard drop kick to send Crazy to the outside. He then fakes out on a springboard. Tucker is playing heel. He taps on his head to show his intelligence, only to miss the next elbow and then gets arm dragged down.
You've been in the Fed, haven't you?
There's a massive leap in DDT by Crazy. Tucker avoids a move and kicks Crazy in the head, continuing to act heel. There's massive chops in the ropes by Tucker, and then Super Crazy takes down Tucker with a sleeper hold. Tucker stays in it though, and stays on top with a side Russian leg sweep. There's big slaps and chops, and a cocky heel who hits a tornado DDT out the corner. One too many though, and the second time turns into a sit-out powerbomb by Crazy. There's a beautiful springboard Hurricane Rana from the top before we get a series of near falls. Super Crazy, the height that he gets on that backdrop to the outside. I mean, he's landing on bloody concrete. He does get like a big pop by the crowd. And he then turns into Samoa Joe, though, as he just sort of walks away as Tucker leaps and
Fuck this.
does a hitting nothing. Into the crowd, but we miss most of Super Crazy's dive. The crowd gives them all oohs and ahs. Then Tucker sells his left leg and Crazy drop kicks it down. This is where we get the replay of the Asai moonsault that we missed from earlier. Insaguri, he's hit by Tucker, who calls to the end. He misses a moonsault though. Crazy does a series of 3 moonsaults, working his way up the buckles, but only for a 2. Tucker catches him with a drop kick on the next dive, hits a missile drop kick of his own, and then the Michinoku driver is hit. but Tucker's clever. He covers for his own move by selling his knee. Crazy drop kicks Tucker away, hits a stiff power bomb, and then a sit-out version of the power bomb for a 3. Sam, thoughts on the match?
This was okay. It was a decent high-flying match. You know, I think they worked well together.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Super Crazy fighting somebody else for a change.
Yeah.
We'll see the next match. That,
I wonder if he had a tear in his eye when he was sorry it was coming out.
yes, oh, no.
What could have been?
Well, you know, I mean, Tucker's good, and I think he fits well with his company as opposed to...
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But, yeah, it was a good match. Got nothing really to complain about for a change.
Yeah, I thought the pace was relentless. It was a nice fun match. Tucker did some good heel work. Super Crazy. Look, he's such a good luchador.
Yeah.
He never wore a mask, did he?
Nah.
It's amazing. He's such a good luchador.
Because he's so ugly.
Yeah, I just, you know...
Yeah, but then, because everybody was disappointed when Psychosis took his mask off because of how ugly he was. So I went, you know what, I am ugly.
He should have given it to Super Crazy. He's ugly.
Yeah, but everybody wanted to put the mask back on.
Yeah.
He's ugly.
I thought the match was fun. They took some big bumps and did everything that you would expect of Tucker and Super Crazy at this point. Jack?
Yeah, what you expect before you watch it and what you expect seeing it on paper, you get.
Yep.
Which is a nice, fast-paced, about 10 minutes match. Doesn't outstay its welcome. Super Crazy's over. Beats another sort of... well, he's a foreigner, Tucker. But he's a foreigner to ECW.
Yeah,
Which is what they was doing. They was bringing people in from other companies and Super Crazy was beating them. So, I think it worked well. They did the big dives into the crowd. It's your big sort of cruiserweight high-flying match. And I thought it succeeded in what it wanted to do in putting Super Crazy out.
I'd agree. Joey Styles builds up the rematch for our TV title as RVD faces off against Jerry Lynn. Backstage, we see a big, fat, hairy belly. It's Joel Gertner who's in pain. He hands the Dudleys a piece of paper. Now, like a wad of papers.
They pick it out of his jacket.
Yeah. So this is what they perceive to be his hit list, and the first name on it is Nova. So the Dudleys.
What the hell's he want to do with Nova?
Yeah, the Dudleys decide. Oh, well, he must want us to beat up Nova.
There's cash.
And there's cash as well. Yeah.
On the envelope.
So handily, Nova just happens to be behind door number 1.
Yeah.
So he's about 3 yards away.
Yeah.
So they just open the door.
Door number 1. It's Nova.
Tell us your name and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Nova. Okay, now.
The Dudleys beat up Nova anyway, and I just thought, what is this shit?
I did like when Bubba was here. We don't know what this is for, but we just have to beat you up, Nova. That was funny.
Because I don't think they ever tied it up. At the very end of the
So
show.
what
But I'm 100% certain it's probably some daft Joel Gertner sold Viagra or something like that.
Yeah.
And
That's all I can
that's
think
the
of.
money that he got.
That's
from
the
it.
money that he
And they misinterpreted who's beating
But the
them.
thing
Yeah,
with this is obviously only for the people who have bought the pay-per-view, because the people in the arena can't see this.
Well, he has to explain it later on when he comes out. And he says, well,
We've been doing this.
I'm fighting Taz now. It's like, what?
What?
Like, none of the crowd actually know what's going on. It's a bit hokey.
It's a bit carry on, but it's okay.
It's all right. It is what it is.
To break up the matches.
You need, yeah, exactly. And because it's quite a heavy action-led match, there's, you got RVD and Jerry Lynn. The next match is quite heavy.
This
on the
looked like a Coliseum video exclusive. Like it was only on the video.
It was a bit like Lord Elsie.
Yeah, Lord Elsie. I'm here with the Dudley boy.
They should have took the list and it said Skinner, Warlord.
What?
They should have had
Vince?
the Bushwhackers are knocking down the house.
Anyway, why not Nunzio? He rides out Big Sal to the
He was in
arena.
TNA recently.
Yeah, he's the leader of the FBI and
Still?
recently returned to TNA. Did he wrestle in TNA or was he
He's
managing?
just managing two
Italians.
FBIs.
Oh, they bought Marmaluke.
Well, he did. Marmaluke was in it a couple of years ago in TNA with Guido.
But
this
yeah,
is a
part of
new
this new one.
FBI.
Are they
I think
staying around?
it was
It's
just
just
because
the
it was
one.
in the ECW arena.
Ah, okay.
That show.
Bulk and Skull await their opponent in the ring, who is Tajiri. He's no
Bulk and Skull.
Big Sal and Little Guido. Bulk and Skull.
That ain't Bulk.
There's a lot of bulk.
Why does he take the ring and out his glasses and put him on the ref?
I don't know. I do like Big Sal though. There's so much about Big Sal.
He's a bit of work than actual rock, mate.
Well, yeah. We decided that.
Sorry, Jack. As soon as I thought Big Sal, I thought of that. Oh, that's funny, that is.
He hasn't quite gone crazy yet, Tajiri, but he's got his sort of New Japan trunks on.
I've just appeared.
He takes far from when he starts to go with Sinister Minister, though, I wouldn't imagine.
He's in the title match in the next pay-per-view.
Is he?
Yeah, he fights for the belt.
Against Taz?
Yeah.
Still in that gear, though, eh?
Still in the gear.
Okay. Joey Styles stumbles over his introduction of who Tajiri is and his accomplishments so far. As I say, not his best night. So, Big Sal warns Tajiri early on, and then we get some shoot-style grappling to start us off. Tajiri locks in a sleeper and a toe hold. Guido bumps around for Tajiri, selling his brutal kicks really, really well, as well as fighting back with slaps and stomps of his own. He locks in a Fujiwara armbar and adds a drop kick to the arm. Then Guido then tries to dive to the outside, but Tajiri swats him away before successfully delivering one of his own onto both Sal and Guido. Tajiri drops Guido onto the guardrail and into the ring post before bringing it back inside, where he goes for the tarantula. This is where we see a little bit of Guido arse. I don't know what happens with his drugs, but we got some Guido arse. Sal cheap shots him to break up that, however, and it allows Guido to stomp away at Tajiri. Tajiri keeps coming, though, countering a flying head scissors by flinging Guido onto the ramp. Guido fends him off, hits the Sicilian slice on the ramp before taking control of things back in the ring. Guido then distracts the ref, which allows allows Big Sal to wobble in and splash.
He does look like a big beanbag, don't he?
Yeah. I mean,
very fat.
I like
£600.
Heyman found something for him to do, though, didn't he? He just says,
Yeah.
I'll just paint you green and red and white and just flatten folk.
Yeah.
Again,
You're what not one should have been.
yeah, someone who made the most out of it.
No, your place.
Did he ever appear at one of the one-night stands?
I think he did appear in the TNA one, and he was like really thin.
Oh, that don't work.
I think
in the WWE one they had Big Guido.
Big Guido, because there was the Big Guido, but he wasn't.
It was just some mook. They
Yeah.
just had him basically for Big Show to
beat up.
I remember him because it was Guido was riding him on his shoulders like he did with Big Sal, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what he always did. But I'm sure Big Sal was in the TNA one. I think that's something we're going to do. Those ECW revival of TNA.
The Hardcore Justice.
Yeah, the copyright friendly ECW one night stand.
Is that the one where the car use certain words?
That car use ECW.
Chad says it in about 50.
Yeah, and it's when New Jack says that Jeremy Borash is his bitch now, or something like that. And Mustafa Saeed runs off his hotel now and all this. And they have a lightsaber duel with Balls and Bobber.
Yeah. What a show.
Yeah, we'll be back to that.
Yeah.
Guido keeps the pressure on Tajiri.
More ECW than this.
It is.
Guido keeps the pressure on Tajiri, but he can't keep him down for a 3. There's more heel work by Big Sal and a knee drop using the exposed knee. Guido then tries for his Sicilian crab.
Your other lip.
It's so difficult to talk. Guido tries for the Sicilian crab, but Tajiri counters out of it and delivers some vicious kicks to Guido's legs. Tajiri tries for a brainbuster, but Guido fights out of it, goes for his armbar, but Tajiri makes it to the ropes to break the hold. Tajiri hits like a sort of side slam style move on Guido, then goes for a powerbomb. Guido's able to slip out of it. This earns him a slap, a real vicious slap for his troubles. And then Tajiri ups the ante by hanging Guido in the tree of woe and kicking him in the face. There's a big kick to Sal. Tajiri adds a brainbuster, and that is that. I did like the stylisation. It does almost feel like they're adding the sort of Mutter-esque
Yeah, the way
He's-
he moves and it.
Well, at the end he grins and it feels like he's starting to find his sadistic side. And I like that because he is very cookie cutter sort of, you know, he could easily be Taka Michinoku from the last match.
Yeah.
But I think they recognise that he's got something to bargain for Jiri.
he's different. Were you trained by Mutter? That's why you got the mist from him and stuff.
Yeah, I really like Tajiri.
I don't.
But Guido deserves so much respect because he is a brilliant foil comedy heel.
Yeah, like the little, like the little leader who just gets his ass kicked.
I really rate Guido.
Hey, my boy.
He's such a good heel.
I saw him first.
Yeah. Again, he's just too small. That's the only problem. And maybe that suits him in many ways because of him being the small mob boss. But I really enjoyed the match. I think actually, you know, other than the farce of a thing they've done for the main event, I think it's been a really good show so far. I think the in-ring work has been pretty good. Jack?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it went on a touch too long.
Maybe.
I think it started to drag at the end for me. And I did think that they, you know, Joey Styles does a lot of putting over Guido as this new, you know, he's trying to prove him as a fighter and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's what Hager wanted to do with the WWE one.
Yeah, but it's like, and I don't mind that. And I don't mind if he then, but then, to me, he should then win with Big Sal, helping him win.
He never wins.
Still saying that he's like, I'm winning all these matches on my own because I'm a big fighter. But he just loses to Tajiri anyway, and with the help of Big Sal, so it does sort of shit on him a little bit.
Especially because Tajiri's not at that level yet, is it? Like he's beating Taz.
Now it ain't Taz or it's ARBD or anybody like that. It's Tajiri who's new. I know he goes into the title match, but that don't matter too much. But it's just, it felt a bit daft to me in terms of a story coming out of it. That the two characters are coming out of it weak, and the guy who hasn't really got a character yet has come out stronger, and just feels like he's just going to be another wrestler on the card.
I'll take your point on that because I mean the FBI did become a little bit comedic and almost non-threatening because they never won, and that is
during this, they were saying that Guido did like keep having comedic partners.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they were saying
Tommy
at the
Rich
beginning. We like Tommy Rich, Trace Smothers, JT Smith. So you saying that it's kind of like, well, they even achieved that.
No, not really. No. Sam,
obviously I quite like the match because it's my boy Nunzio, and I like it's the same match as the first match, but different in a way. It's like more hard hitting, more grounded than the lucha style. But all of them could work together.
Yeah,
obviously three of them did, and Taco went up back to the fence.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a good division you've got there, like a nice mid card kind of thing.
It's just such a shame that they didn't have contracts because you can understand why it must have been really difficult to book ECW at this time because they've got workers and at least 90% of their company could easily work in the Fed or the WCW.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, you're always going to be worried that at any point they might all leave.
Because imagine with WCW at this point, obviously the cruiserweight title had sort of died a bit at this point. But if they got Super Crazy Tajiri and Guido up in WCW, it would have been like another
division. Real,
thing
like,
there. You've still got Ray, you've still got Kid.
Yeah.
You know, brilliant.
And I think that's where, you can see, like you said early on, it does feel like they're trying to find a little bit of they're coming back on the hardcore stuff a little bit and trying to find a sort of wrestling base to the wrestling product that they've got. But we haven't.
But in 2 years' time, they just go right back to the hardcore.
And we're not done with hardcore because here we go. Back to the list.
Oh, God.
It's the Dudley Boys. Rod Price. Not Rod Price. No. I like Rod Price.
Who the fuck's Rod Price?
$3,000. The $3,000.
Yes, $3,000 for Rod Price.
Yeah, he says, well, for the $3,000, I hate that country.
Sort of a bet. To be fair, though, I was kind of on Bubba's side. If somebody, like you, they're going to do $3,000 here. All right.
Well, also as well, Rod Price was behind door number 2.
Yeah.
They had to go through 2 doors.
His own dressing room.
Yes, yeah.
You ain't on the show, Rod?
They just beat him up, basically, and Bubba tells us into camera that he's going to continue doing this all night.
Where's your brother? Sorry, Ross.
Dawn Marie has to put her knickers back on as she walks out with Lance Storm, who is in jeans and a white beater. That's what this company needs, is more mooks wearing jeans and a white beater.
The wrestler. Him in jeans and a white beater.
I mean, I think they're probably trying to do what they did with RVD, where they wanted to legitimise him in the eyes of the hardcore wrestling fans.
Yeah,
but
and because
you know what?
this is more of a
bollocks to him, like he can wrestle, let him fucking wrestle.
He's a wrestler.
Well, I had a rant about it in the November to Remember '98 when he was fighting Jerry Lynn and all the crowd was on about was showing tits.
Yeah, that doesn't help. I mean,
rant about that.
I never quite understood the Dawn Marie element with Lance Storm, really, because he's a bit too sort of serious. But maybe that was the juxtaposition that was going for, really.
The other one is.
Yeah. Well, the Dreamer is his opponent for tonight. It's like a grudge match, we're told. Seeing that he's outnumbered, he brings out Francine to even the numbers. I wonder if Francine and Dawn Marie might have a little bit of a fight later on.
Never-ending story.
Wasn't you with somebody else recently who decided to fuck off the WCW?
Yeah. A fight starts up the ramp with Dreamer getting the better of things and sending Storm into the ring. Dreamer counters a sunset flip by utilising the hit your opponent in the head with a bin lid, which was one of one of the things that Richard said on Bottom before they decided on a stick of
Fit the tail on the donkey turned into hit your opponent in the head with the big lid. That was after stick some sellotape on the fridge. That would have been a short match.
It would have, yeah. Cactus clothesline from Dreamer sends both men tumbling to the floor. Dreamer continues to control the match. Tries for a Death Valley driver. That's his finish, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dreamer
driver.
On the ramp, but Storm is able to slip out into reverse DDT. Back inside, Dreamer. Oh no, his finishes the DDT, isn't it?
Or he does the DDT and the Death Valley driver. Whichever he's feeling like.
Well, he tries for his second finisher of the DDT.
His signature and his. Whichever one don't get kicked out.
Onto most of them do, unfortunately. Onto a chair, but Storm counters with a modified SDO for a 2. Storm and Dreamer go through a nice counter sequence, which ends with Storm getting a super kick for a 2. He decides to set up a table at ringside, but Dreamer recovers and fights him off before he can use it. Dreamer grabs a section of guardrail. Storm drops Dreamer crotch first onto that railing inside the ring.
We must see that spot in every ECW pay-per-view.
Yeah, they always
and it's always Dreamer. It's always Dreamer's balls.
The Funk and who was he with? Was he with Dreamer? Against Shane. That happened in that at all.
They love bringing the guardrail.
That's his accessory as a figure. Is a piece of guardrail, surely.
It just is awkward as well. I always think it looks awkward.
That's all you can do, or a suplex.
At least do Jack Porter
pick him up and whack it with it.
Storm heads up top, and then he leaps head first onto that guardrail. Then Storm ends up hitting the railing, as I just said. Dreamer heads up himself now. Storm cuts him off at the pass and then throws him off the top rope face first into a chair. Storm then tries a hip toss on Dreamer off the apron through the table from earlier, but Dreamer blocks it, and it ends up with Storm taking a back body drop through it. Storm recovers pretty damn quick, to be fair. Starts wearing Dreamer out with his leather belt, and this cuts Dreamer's head open. Storm tries to use a chair, but Dreamer fends off and hits a chair-assisted stunner for a 2. Then Dreamer heads out to set a ladder between the ring and the railings. He tries to bulldog Storm off the apron, and he gets shoved onto the ladder instead. Storm then goes for a baseball slide into the ladder, into Dreamer's face, but Dreamer sees him coming, and he's able to avoid it. Eventually, Storm splats into the ladder himself. That's the second use of the word splat.
Splat.
Yeah, it's becoming the catchphrase. We get Dreamer putting Storm's head between the rungs of the ladder and hitting a chair. I think that's a good spot because it looks impressive, sounds impressive, but he's safe as fuck in it. I mean, there's no one going to...
going to go out.
Yeah, if you really thought about it, you just think, well,
Your ears might ring.
Yeah.
You'll be alright.
Oh, I got to hear it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about Storm. Even when he's trying to give these crowds, I'm going to be hardcore, but I'm going to do it on my terms. You ain't seen no fire with me, you bastard.
You're going to
never
get
bleed.
my hardcore.
Yeah,
I shall never bleed.
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did he?
It leads to a ref bump, which is always pointless in these
Yeah.
matches anyway. Dreamer
In this
lays Dreamer lays Storm on, except for one match later on, but we'll get to that in a minute. Dreamer lays Storm onto the ladder, goes for a splash but from the top, but Storm moves out of the way and Dreamer ends up hitting nothing but ladder. Storm then sets up Dreamer onto another table, heads up top, but Dreamer recovers and brings Storm down from the top rope with a Death Valley driver through the table. However, there's no ref there to count. This allows Cyrus to run down and break it up, and at this point I'm thinking, what? Why has he got involved in this match? It takes a spear and a Bronco Buster from Francine, which is mandatory, obviously, because we now need to have the cat fight between Dawn Marie and Francine. Dreamer, who deserves to lose every match because he's always more determined to pile drive a woman than win a match. He decides, I'm going to pile drive her. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. However, as usually is the case, he spends way too much time on it, and it allows Storm to put a bin over his head and hit a spinning wheel kick and pick up the win. I mean, at least Storm won. That's all I'll say. Jack?
I think that counts for all of us.
It's long.
Goes way too
It's
long.
very long. It's the hardcore, let's do the hardcore stuff, okay, but it feels like we're doing it with the wrong man in Lad Storm, who deserves better and can wrestle a bit more. You know, you get all the tropes of the cat fight and all that sort of stuff, and the running and unnecessary pointless ref bump. Cyrus, I don't know why you're here.
Cyrus been
You have
really
not
took me out.
interacted with these ever. Why do you now hate Tommy Dreamer? You know, what they do is okay, but it's too long. And I don't feel like, even though Lance Storm's won, I don't feel like any more impressed by him as a in-ring or as a character because of this. I don't feel like he's now hardcore and is accepted.
You would have he had to either be the dominant hardcore or he needed to take the arse kicking, and so because it was such 50-50 booking, it just felt, and then 50-50 booking, but with everything thrown in his way to make sure he won.
Yeah,
you just come out and think.
At the end of it, I just feel like it's 20 minutes and them both exactly where they were as characters anyway.
I want those 20 minutes.
This
back.
feels like we ain't quite got anything for you two, so you have a feud.
But we need you. Dreamer on the card.
Yeah.
And we'll just put Lance on against you.
The hardcore elements was fine. I like Storm. Storm's a clever wrestler. Tommy Dreamer obviously is mutated now into this form, and he will now do this for the rest of his career.
Still doing this.
Yes. I hate the mandatory fucking cat fight that you have to have, but it is part of the time, I suppose. But the Cyrus Daff running at the to be honest, took all the breath out of the match for me. I didn't quite understand why they did it. It would have been fine if it was Dawn Marie got involved with Francine, and then the finish happened the way that it did. But again, all you've done really is weaken what should have been a fairly big win for Lance Storm. And plus, I've got to be honest, Lance Storm is just better than this kind of wrestling. I wouldn't have had him near it.
Yeah, you don't need to be in this sort of division of matches, does he?
No. There is enough bodies within this where he can have a good quality match.
At least a good enough story as to, like you say,
Incredible.
it's not hardcore enough, and the stories around that.
Yeah.
You beat me hardcore.
Yeah, no, I
But
agree.
it just feels like a thrown-on match, like you say, so it's a waste.
Sam?
The usual hardcore weapons match for Dreamer, because I think him and New Jack was sort of their thing.
Yeah.
At this point, as you say, Lance Storm completely the wrong person for this. I know he comes out later for his tag partner Credible. Credible suits this more than Lance Storm.
I agree with that.
Lance Storm suits more fighting RVD, Jerry Lynn, being in the TV title
completely.
and being more of a wrestler.
Yep.
Which, like what they all say, you miscasting ECW as just weapons and that. But we had Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. Yes, you had Lance Storm, but you're putting him in this shit.
That's the problem,
So,
isn't it?
yes, you have got. He's the wrestler. Make him stand out in this hardcore promotion. Have him be a wrestler.
Yeah, I just think there's enough wrestlers in the company for it, and generally in an RVD call fight forever, can they? You know what I mean? So
We'll try.
I mean, we just saw before this 2 matches where 3 of them do fight forever.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if Lance Storm could have had a good match with either of them 3,
I agree. I just think there's
got
enough.
a decent mid
Again, much that I'm saying, when you've got New Jack, you've got Angel, you've got fucking all these people, and Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten and all Sandman, and I know obviously they're all in and out the company at different times, so it's difficult to say a snapshot, but it would have been better if they'd have just gone, this is our hardcore division,
this is the wrestling,
this is what you'll see.
and I think once you start to muddy that with Lance Storm, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And like Jack says, I think Jack's hit the nail on the head. It's all good and well doing this, but you've got to have a point.
There's always going to be a point to the match.
Yeah, and if you're coming out and you don't feel like you've got that point, then this missed the mark.
It's like a certain company nowadays. What's the point?
They'll feel like...
No, doesn't.
He even beat with his finish.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah. Dudley's, well, where are they? Anyway, the next on the list is Jack Victory. Oh, they like Jack Victory.
He was there for us, but he's having a shit.
So he's $5,000, Jack Victory. He's,
$5,000?
Yeah,
what the hell? What's he got?
Yeah, he's more expensive than Rod. Old Jack Victory. He's in the bathroom anyway. He's sucking into asking who's next. Goldberg would be proud. Jack Victory.
I don't do comedy shit.
Jack Victory is taken out. Taz then is watching. He disagrees, brother. I disagree, brother. The mystique of Taz is dead. Don't talk. He says that he's taking them out tonight. They should ask Candido before Taz rounds out using his catchphrase. What is it? Face me if I let you.
Face me if you dare, or something like that. Survive if I let you in.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but he has to say that after the bloke already tries to do my gimmick, brother.
Yeah,
and I just went,
but I digress.
It would have been better if he'd have choked him out, wouldn't it? Like, that's the Taz who he's supposed to like, not like, I've got to get my catchphrase.
Is
it hot in here, or is it me?
Yeah. Who is this
fat Taz?
Who is this mook? Because I just randomly, when he started talking, I just saw like an ad with a microphone going up to him. I thought,
it's amazing that he's morphed into what he is. It's really
he's night and day, isn't he?
He's so different now. I love him now.
There he is, a fat bump.
I don't dislike Taz, but again, I don't know why it couldn't have been done with a really precise. I'm gonna kill. Just literally say I'm gonna fucking kill you tonight.
Why does he have to do that? Hey, I'm gonna hit my catchphrase.
Stupid.
No, beat me if you dare, survive if I let you out. That's
beat me if you can. I think
something like that.
Yeah, which again doesn't make any sense, really, does it? You might be able to beat me, but you're gonna die. What?
But I digress.
TV title match now, as this match is a no time limit draw, so I assume they've had
they drawn on the last show, and then Jerry Lynn wanted 5 more minutes, and he lost within the 5 more minutes. Which is great.
You're a fucking idiot, Jerry Lynn.
Yeah. So Lynn is actually getting booed.
No wonder The Rock put you on this. There's a wench on his film.
Is that right?
Yeah, in the Page film, there's a wench out there called Jerry Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
That's when he tweeted, because who's responsible for this?
Jerry Lynn's getting booed during the ring introduction, so I assume he's the fans' choice of babyface.
Because I know by the end he's
still at the end, but at this point he's still a baby.
We see the turn, don't we? Don't we see when it Double Jeopardy where he turned?
No, he was champ, and then he lost, because he was eliminated in the first part of the match.
Okay.
But it's like at the end, because that RVD, they want to come back, but he come back for the last show and fought Jerry Lynn or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still fighting now.
I think they fight each other on the TNA reboot.
Who'd have thought it? We get some chain wrestling battles to start, which ends in the standoff, which again, I know we can say is the usual standoff, but it wasn't usual back then, certainly in American style wrestling, so it was unique in what they were doing. RVD tries to show rope to try and rile up Lynn, but Lynn remains calm and keeps going about his business. The pace quickens as both men counter each other's high-flying attempts, and once again we get a stalemate. Lynn eventually manages to knock RVD out of the ring with a missile dropkick and then follows with a big crossbody off the top to the floor. Lynn controls things back inside in the ring for a while, getting a bulldog from the second rope. Bill Alfonso gets involved, crotching Lynn on the top rope. Lynn is able to dodge a follow-up Van Daminator and ends up clocking RVD with a chair shot. Lynn thankfully didn't deliver it with full force, and he pulled back a little bit, which did seem to annoy the crowd. It's like, why do they need you to kill each other in this match? More on that in a minute. RVD crotches him on the top rope again, and this time manages to kick him off, which sends Lynn careering off the top rope to the floor. Now, I think he hits it just between the mats that are there, and he legitimately is out, like he's comatose, he's dead. Like, RVD has to go over to him. At one point, he just has to pick him up, like he's completely gone. He does fling him into the front row and follows up with a dive.
That's what I loved. The fact that he's picked him up, he knows he's fucked. So what I'll do, I'll put him in the crowd and dive on him.
This is easy.
I mean, again, I know it's 1999, we have to appreciate his different tried. It would definitely have been the end of the match at that point.
There'd been his ex doing up like he's fucked.
Yeah.
Just do a headlock.
Yeah, he could. I don't think RVD's quite the sort of ring general to know. I need to put him in a hold and let him come to his senses. RVD is. I'm just going to jump on him.
Yeah. I can't get my shit in, bro.
What's the next spot? Let's just carry on.
Lynn manages to find his bearings and sort of drag himself into the ring. He gets a roll up for a 2 and then goes for a cradle pile driver, but RVD counters with an Alabama slam. I mean, the fact that RVD's happy to take a pile driver from a man who might or might not be in consciousness. I don't know.
Because you might be in the same state if you dropped you on your head.
Lynn is able to dodge a follow-up rolling
thunder. We'll help you
and goes for a tornado DDT, but RVD is able to counter with a Northern Light suplex for a 2. RVD sets Lynn up on the top rope, but Lynn fights him off and hits a sunset flip powerbomb for a 2. Lynn then sets up a table outside. RVD comes over to attack him before he can use it, and it's into the crowd where RVD clonks Jerry Lynn with a Van Daminator. I know there's a lot of good words though. Lynn recovers, however, and tries to Hurricane Rana RVD off the top rope through the table.
He's conscious at this point.
Well, barely. But RVD fights him off and flings into the floor onto a stack of chairs that I don't even know where they came from. It looks like Lynn's head bounces off the apron on his way down as well. He's absolutely determined to kill himself. RVD isn't done.
I'm going to go work for AEW.
He drapes Lynn over the guardrail, follows up with his corkscrew leg drop from the apron. RVD goes for a cover back inside, but Lynn isn't staying down and kicks out for a 2. Alfonso sends in a chair. RVD drop kicks it into Lynn's face. And then, of course, he drop kicks it into his face after doing an absolutely unnecessary flip. The flip, which he loves to do. He sets Lynn up on the top rope. Lynn bites off, however, and in the scuffle, RVD clotheslines him back into the ring, hits a slingshot leg drop for a 2. That's a brilliant spot. Lynn counters a splash attempt in the corner with a back body drop, dropping RVD onto the apron, and then following the sunset flip, bombing him off the apron through the table from earlier. And that table spot nearly took out RVD's eye because there was that was the Sabu one, wasn't it?
Yeah, him and Sabu V.
I thought it was this one where
Hakushi and Hayabusa where they do it, but the table does that and cuts his eyelid. So when he closes his eye, you can still see his eyeball. Yeah, because he had a bit of skin, I think he said, and he was going to pull it, thinking he's just some skin on his head.
Really? And all the weed.
Lynn rolls RVD back in the ring following that, and that play. But following
There's a German after
that.
you. Oh,
But somehow he's able. Yeah,
Is it German?
Yeah,
Is it German appears?
Yeah, Baracus comes out.
Oh,
Lynn rolls RVD back into the ring following that, but somehow he's able to kick out on a 2. Alfonso brings another chair into play, but Lynn gets it off him, ducks a Van Daminator attempt, and flings the chair right into Fonzie's face, taking him out.
Does he bleed?
Yeah. He follows up with a German suplex by RVD, which is a brilliant near fall. I think the crowd thought that was it. RVD sets up Lynn on the top, tries something, but they sort of they just fox. They just drop. Lynn hits RVD with his own Van Daminator, only gets a 2, and again the crowd bought that was the end of the match. Lynn once again goes for his cradle DDT, but RVD slips out once again. He hits his split-legged moonsault. Lynn kicks out. RVD manages to hit a 5-star frog splash, but Lynn is able to counter the pin attempt into a cradle for a 2. Again, another good tease for the crowd. Alfonso makes his return. He hands RVD the chair. It is a really good spot, really fluid. Van Daminator, followed by a second frog splash, and that is enough for RVD to retain. Sam, thoughts on the match?
I mean, it's a really good match, other than
the spots where they nearly died.
Yeah, other than Jerry Lynn nearly died and RVD not knowing what to do. But you can't go wrong with these two, to be honest. I mean, it is the right mid-card title feud. I mean, it should have been a world title feud, to be honest, but you can't go wrong with them. This is the spot match, the match to get the crowd hot. But again, there's some bits that you probably would have changed.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
But it is a good match.
The concussion.
Yeah. I think when you've got chemistry like this and a hot crowd, just wrestling's really good. It's so easy to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it is probably a little too long at times, but you've got to remember, this is them creating what is now the whole indie style of wrestling. Like, this is them creating.
It's your fault.
Yeah. It's such a good match, and the fact that they avoided disaster a few times, and it's weird to me that Jerry Lynn finds more charisma when he's fighting RVD than anyone else. He seems to be devoid of charisma without RVD, but then when he's in that match with RVD, he sort of finds his groove a little bit, which is probably why he failed in the set.
You can smell the weed. And,
and RVD, there is no doubt. I mean, I don't get how Vince or Bischoff didn't offer him. I get Mike Awesome and things like that, but like, he's miles ahead of Taz in terms of being closer to the WWE style.
Well, you don't know if they did try, and he just,
you know what I mean? He's just a star.
There's nothing like
you don't know, do you?
He's just so charismatic.
Yeah.
It exuded it throughout the match as well. I like that, the fact that they didn't just lose the stuff. That's where I get annoyed. A lot of AEW wrestling is that you've got some of them with really good characters, but you immediately forget they've got a character because they just do a load of spots. Whereas RVD seems to do the spots that suit his character.
Yeah.
The leg drop, the split-legged moonsault, the Van Daminator.
Yeah.
It almost feels cocky in the way that he's doing his moves.
And then he does stuff with, the stuff with the chair, he sort of like, it fits in a way.
Yeah.
So even though he shouldn't be doing it, he fits it.
Yeah, and whenever they threw it, even though Lynn had just been knocked out, he seemingly caught it. Every time the chair was thrown, he was there to catch it. It was just chemistry on another level. And I would go as far to say, when I think of a proper ECW feud, and there is a feud, Sabu Taz and stuff like Dream and Raven, this is the best
is one
feud
of them, yeah.
that ECW has.
Shane Douglas and everyone.
In terms of in ring.
Yeah, Balls and Axel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't helped by the fact that Jerry Lynn is knocked out for a little while, so that doesn't hamper the match. There are a few blown spots, but when you're working 30 minutes or whatever it is,
Yeah, it's a long match.
it's
Longest on the card.
and the things that they do are just a body slam and a suplex, so they've got to fuck up a few times, which I can forgive them for. I mean, it should be the main event in my eyes.
It's
To me, this is the style that they should be saying, you know, the Attitude Era have took our style, done it better with better production, better characters. So
we've got to look to Japan and
look
Mexico
to do
and
this
stuff
sort
like
of,
that.
you ain't going to see good quality wrestling on anything other than ECW. So this should be the main event. And it's called Hardcore Heaven as well, so it can tie into that. But it shouldn't be in the middle of the card. But it's helped by the fact that Geraldine needs knocked out. But what they do is fine. And I'm not bored by the end of it, even with the length of the match. They ain't going to disappoint you.
No.
Probably ain't the best Geraldine
No, I don't
match.
think it probably is.
But it's ECW after 98, so Geraldine v RVD happens on every show.
Yeah.
So
it happens up until 2010.
But,
Don't they do it on
fine.
Heat once or
Didn't
something?
mind it.
I'm sure WWE did it down there once. RVD v Lynn. I think they did it on like
Heat?
a Heat or something.
Oh, did they? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Obviously, they last half as long. But I think they just did it because they got Jerry Lynn and RVD had come over. I'm sure they did it during the invasion on, as I said, Heat for like the hardcore title or something.
Was Jerry Lynn part of the invasion?
Well, he was in WWE. He's in effect.
I'm
but
loyal to
I'm
this
sure.
company.
I'm sure there's somewhere that it's like a little.
Anyone
thing
had justification
that-
to defect, it would have been Jerry Lynn.
Now I'm loyal.
Light heavyweight Jerry Lynn.
I'm sure they did do it in WWF once on like one of them shows.
Won't have to find that.
Yeah.
Backstage, the Dudleys are not happy with Taz, and that they're threatening him. Bubba says that he's taking out Taz tonight, and it'll be his pleasure. Big Dick Dudley.
Why did you hang on a minute?
This is the most hammy way of getting to this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, Big Dick Dudley drags in Chris Chetty. Devon clocks him and acts like he broke his hand.
Yeah.
And Bubba is
Taz's
not happy
cousin.
about this. He
He
beats up
actually is,
Chetty. I've got to say, like, most of the show I've enjoyed, but this bullshit, crap, convoluted way of getting into this as a main event is cack. Like, it's cack.
It is a bit.
I think it was supposed to be the Dudleys versus Taz was the original plan, but Devon does break his hand in the dolls and Spike.
Oh, he has
apparently.
actually broke his hand.
So it just switched to the one-on-one, which I don't get why.
So fucking hell,
Taz
Taz is that.
feed your tag team
Well,
champions.
I think it's good that he broke his hand because I don't want to see.
So
it.
Taz is meant to have had a match with two people who were possibly injured. So they ended up fighting Bubba.
Yeah.
I fucking
Well,
hell.
that's true, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
Because even Candido, that match was short because of a possible injury. He don't fight Devon because he busted his hand. Now fighting Bubba.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Joey Styles tells us we've got no Shane Douglas and we'll probably never see him in
Hooray!
ECW again.
A lot of them
the night
fucking
before
promos.
is when he leaves.
Is it?
There's a joint show with another company.
Is it
and
FMW?
It comes out now. He cuts a promo on some fucking. I think he cuts a promo on Eamon and they don't agree on money and all that sort of shit. So he shoots on him and leaves.
And he is in the WCW.
With not long after.
Yeah.
He's in the revolution.
God. Jason and Jazz walk out just incredible.
We don't know who this young woman is.
Yeah, we're going to find just
Jazz.
incredible
This is how Nicole Bass.
Oh yeah, she was around then, wasn't she?
Well, I think she was she'd been in the Fed. Or she might have been with hang on, this is May, so this ain't far off our window. Because she was on Over the Edge with Val. That was the next match.
I think it
Against
was only a
Jarrett
week
and,
or so
Deborah.
before, actually.
Huh?
It's only a week or so before, isn't it,
Yeah.
really? Just Incredible rips off The Rock with his millions and millions and does the same crap as the Dudley Boys did earlier, recapping all the people that he's beat. He said he's guiltier than OJ and nobody is sending him to the election.
OJ dead. Have some respect.
Rest in peace, OJ.
That'll be cut.
Yeah, recently
Somebody will
dead
get offended
OJ
by that.
Simpson will leave you to decide whether
I
he's
liked you
guilty
in
or
the
not.
naked gun.
Jeff Jones.
Did he do it?
I don't
Did
know.
he get down for it?
No, he didn't.
Exactly.
In the eyes of the law, he did nothing.
The glove
he
Dave,
wrote a bit telling you how he would have done it.
Yeah. Despite the
I
fact,
don't do it, but if I did,
Here's how I was done it.
despite the fact that everyone followed him from the murder scene and he was
Bloody hell, better call OJ.
He was covered in blood.
His
Carl was on, baby.
fantasy murder.
What
with
a
OJ.
man. I'll get away with it and I will flaunt it.
Jeff Jones didn't get away with it though. He's out. He declares Just Incredible guilty as charged. Wrong show, pal.
I'm going to say that was the pay-per-view before. I actually researched what the pay-per-view was in 99.
His sentence will be handed out by the man, It's the man called Sid. It's Sid.
This is his last appearance, I think.
My God, he gets a pop. I didn't realise he'd appeared before.
It was January to May. I looked this up for the rebooking.
Yeah, money. It was money, basically.
Yeah.
And did he fight it guilty as charged?
It just kept coming out. And
He fought
He
Crowley.
comes out. The show before is Spike and somebody versus the Dudleys for the tag. I think it is. Or something
And then
like
he comes out.
And he. And Nova comes out for Spike, and then Nova gets took out, and then Sid comes out for Spike, and then they lose, and then he powerbombs Spike anyway after the match.
And he fights Cronus on one show.
Yeah, he fights Cronus.
Yeah.
He fights in that sort of weird arena, don't he, where there's like a balcony and everything. He has a match in there.
I love Sid. He's so over with the crowd. Just
over it. Everyone
I
loves
will
Sid.
put my jacket and elbow pad on, and that's it.
It's amazing.
I get the jeans on. That's my ECW attire.
Sid flapjacks just incredible and gives him a kick to the gut, and we're in our match apparently. There's a flare bump.
He's doing a match because Ray and Bell.
But, well,
At the end there is, but not at the
It's a
beginning.
match.
Credible is tossed over the top and onto the outside. Credible then begs off, but he's set up for a powerbomb. Jason makes the save, takes the powerbomb himself.
I honestly thought he was going to powerbomb Jazz by this point.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is he going to powerbomb her?
There's a cane to a no-selling Sid. Chokeslam to Credible. Storm then saves Credible and the bell sounds. So this is a no-contest DQ'd match apparently in ECW.
Okay.
Chokeslam to Storm. There's jeans everywhere at this point, by the way.
Calm as you are.
Gee.
This is ECW.
There's a powder to the face of Sid, so he must get flashbacks to the barber shop. And there's a double team as Sid is set up on the table. Sabu is out. He seemingly goes to save Sid. But
I like how we jumped over Sid, though.
bollocks it. I'm just going to put him...
Yeah, I'll just go through the table.
Oh,
Fucking.
He does go through the table really well. He does his spot, he jumps up, and Storm drags just incredible off just in time. Sabu puts Sid through the table. I get the impression that might have been where they were going with the next
Sid Sabu.
Yeah, man.
What a fucking match. Oh, we should have saw that, because that would have been amazing.
I actually
Imagine
wanted
a
to
conversation backstage where Samu's going, should we do this thing with the... Nah.
Powerbomb.
Sidewalk slam, no slam, we're bad.
Chokeslam powerbomb done. You want to use a table? You can do it through it.
Yeah. Sid's not happy, and he just powerbombs Jeff Jones to send the crowd home happy.
It's so strange. What a weird moment.
It's
It's
bizarre.
champ.
A lot happened in that 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's a WCW
He's
World
WCW World
Champ.
Champ. He turns up with Macho Man, don't he? Later
Yeah, it's
on.
in WCW within a month, I think.
Yeah, I think it's June.
Yeah.
He comes in.
Seems
Not that
amazing.
really.
I mean, it's confusing as well.
It's the reason we're doing this show.
It's so weird that he fits ECW, but he feels like he fits
He does.
ECW.
He does. He
He's
does.
just fucking mad.
You've got to just
It's one
keep
of
him
them
in the
few
911.
people that goes in every show, mate.
I agree
Every
with that.
company, it's just like
He's got to do the 911.
Just
spot,
the
like you
911
said.
spot.
Yeah.
You've got to be going to
Chokeslam powerbomb done.
Put him in the Jerry Lynn.
I think I watched a shoot with RVD about it, and he goes on about Sid. He goes, how did he feel? Oh, how you feel? And then he goes, he's one of them that you look at him and he'd shit your pants, and he goes, and he goes, oh, you shit yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've got it. I mean,
He
he
would
looks
do,
like an absolute psychopath, doesn't he?
He is a proper boy. Everybody loves Sid. Even though he's shit, everybody loves him.
I don't know whether I would have put him through the table for Sabu, but
No,
I suppose
that's
as
no,
a
he should have
build,
Fair play to him.
Yeah, he
I
did
don't
take
expect him to do a bump, but he did.
and
I bet he thought he was going to get paid, and then he got back and he went, right.
gotta be
Oh,
honest,
this-
I don't understand why Jeff Jones is babyface and heel in the same spot.
I've got to be honest. After the 5 minutes, I don't know what's gone on. Like I'm so confused as to what I'm trying. What are we doing now?
Yeah, it is hard to
It's
know
like,
where they're going.
We've got Sid. Let's just do a lot of shit within 5
Yeah.
minutes. I don't really know who's feuding with who and why now.
No.
I mean,
I
look
can't
at
say
the-
Douglas Day turned up because what was Sid doing?
I get the bit at the beginning with just incredible, like the young cocky bloke who ran off Shane Douglas, and then Sid comes out, and one of my notes is, was this a match? Because the day
I'm
ring
sure
the
it
bell,
was.
it's like, okay, I'm challenging anybody in the back, even though that's what kind of Joey Styles was on about.
Mm.
But then nothing happened, and then the bell started ringing when Lad Storm appears,
Yeah.
and I just thought, what the What's going on here?
I think they probably protect Jerry just Incredible a little bit too much as well. Like,
I think that's the one
They
thing.
don't take a look.
no, and really,
That's what everybody moans about, because
why are you protecting
everybody
just
pushed him
Incredible?
too much, but it's like, he ain't that good.
No.
But they was trying to push him really. Well, he wins the belt, though. He
Oh,
a
yeah.
year or something.
Right, I mean, this. No.
He-
No, not for
he
me.
was held on Montoya.
Yeah, no.
Think about it.
Think about it. He likes his jeans. Joey Styles says, well, we got no main event.
So what's going on there?
What's going on
See you
now?
next week.
Yeah, see you later.
That should have cut it off. That's it.
So the issues between
Seamless
Taz,
main event.
the issues between Taz and Bubba have been unresolved. So we go into the ring as Bubba walks out with both title belts. Devon is resting his hand, it seems, and Bubba is in the title match, it seems. Bubba grabs the mic, he felt the crowd in on what the fuck is going on and why Devon is in here. Taz walks out, he kicks and suplexes Bubba down. He says that this is FTW rules, so it's falls count anywhere. Sign guy distracts Taz, which allows Bubba to club away at him. Up the ramp we go as Taz grabs an FTW sprayed stop sign and clobbers Bubba Ray with
Shouldn't
it.
he have
Why
had
don't you get your
the
own
world
sleeve?
belt as FTW? Shouldn't he have done
Possibly,
something
yeah,
like
he kept that as
that? They
the
got rid of it and
belt.
kept the FTW
Yeah.
belt.
That's the problem with the FTW belt as a gimmick, though, isn't it?
Well, it was the fuck the world belt, and then he won the world belt.
Yeah.
So why they
Why do you
get
care?
rid of the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
belt for a bit and have his own
like the
belt?
smoking
Like the
skull,
smoking
yeah.
skull, you know. And even I don't like the smoking skull belt personally. But I mean, AEW uses it as just a random belt that anybody has now, don't they?
Everyone's you got to have a belt match. What you would want if you was in AEW is the dream, the boyhood dream, to be the FTW champion on
To be
Dynamite
the
Dark,
ROH
or a
six-man
Triple A light heavyweight champion.
The boyhood dream has come true.
I mean, I could pin Rock to be the people's
Yeah,
champion.
well,
That's a bit
sad.
sad, but at least he don't defend.
Not yet. Following that, though, both men brawl into the crowd for a bit, which is a nightmare for this kind of production.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought we'd got away with it.
Yeah.
Without a crowd brawl.
Nah.
And then it happened.
Well,
Save it for the main event.
yes. Taz gets busted open. They brawl into the concourse, but obviously they can't stay very long because there's no big screens. Both men eventually brawl back to the ring where Bubba Ray controls things. He heads up to the second rope, but Taz stops whatever he had planned, and he brings him down with a nice-looking head-to-arm sort of suplex for an ECW chant. This draws Devon out. He hits Taz with the inverted DDT.
Shouldn't he
Bubba,
have had a big cast on his arm?
comedy boxing
Yeah,
glove.
big bottom bit.
That would have been good.
Do something like that for fuck's
It
sake.
gives Bubba an earfall. The fans really aren't buying that Bubba's got any chance of winning, which I think is the problem here.
Yeah.
Siren Guy and Devon put the tables in the ring. Bubba uses teeth for Bubba to use. He stacks them both in the corner. Taz starts no-selling the punches by Bubba. The ref tries to stop both men, so for reasons he's thrown through a table. I mean, obviously, in fairness to them, does he draw the line at punching? Like, consider
I
that.
can forgive everything else. The fire. All of it.
Exactly.
The science, the tables,
But
the chair,
Molyneux decides punching. Oh, that's too far.
He's got a broken hand, this one.
Madness. Bubba gets sit out powerbomb, which brings another ref down for a 2. Devon now comes in
Is
to
it
help.
Molyneux, the bastard?
I don't know. Hit a back breaker, neck drop combo. I don't know what they call that version of the
It's the reverse
Yeah,
3D.
but Taz manages to kick out. The Dudleys try to hit the 3D, but Taz DDTs Devon and suplexes Bubba through the other table. Bubba tries his Samoan drop, but he slips into the Taz mission and gets the win. I mean, nothing that they did was inherently bad. I just felt like this story should have been built over a show or two to get to the point where Taz wanted to kill the Dudleys, as opposed to one show. This
One
all
night.
happened.
One
And,
night.
Taz normally overcomes the odds. That I get that. But no one really felt he was ever going to lose.
No.
So
Never
this is your main
anything.
event is just fucking stupid. And then, when you really look at it, he has just battered the most dominant tag
Heels.
team you've got.
The best
And
heels,
probably the
really.
best heels.
So we
So,
fight him again at Anarchy Rules? Or have I got that wrong?
Don't know.
So no, RVD fights balls.
No,
But it's
he
always
don't.
the thing where he suplexed him through a table.
Taz
I
I thought
fights.
that was on Anarchy Rules.
Taz fights
Not-
Tajiri, though, isn't it?
Everybody. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Tajiri on the
okay.
next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Which is Anarchy Rules, I think.
And then he drops in the triple threat to Awesome and
Which
I
you
see.
can check out in
Yeah.
our archives on the Mike Awesome podcast. But yeah,
September.
and then he
Oh, yeah.
wins it back from Mike Awesome about 6 months later when both of them have left.
And then drops it to Tommy Drew, who drops it to Just Incredible.
And
Oh,
that
hey.
is the story of ECW. I mean, like I say, nothing was inherently bad. The match was fine, but as a main event, absolutely worthless. Not even worth your time. Jack?
It's a house show match,
Yeah.
main event in my eyes, because the brawl into the crowd doesn't work on a TV production where you've got now big cameras and that you can shoot everything and show everything to the live crowd. So it's a house show spot. It's a title match to end the show with no jeopardy that the person he's fighting is going to win the belt. There was no chance that Bubba Ray was going to win the
No,
title.
not a
So
chance.
it was just a house show match to me. Like you said, what they actually do is fine for what they are. You know, they're going to have a 5-star classic. They're going to have Punchy Brawley. I'm going to do some Taz plexes and some tables are going to happen and some blood's going to happen.
Some
But
tables.
I don't feel like you. It feels weird that they've just had the biggest heel team and the biggest baby face, and we've just done the feud within 2.5 hours.
Well, I just don't.
You could have built to this match and
Well,
at
this
least
is my
give
point.
some jeopardy.
As a, we're not doing this as a rebooking. I've got to be honest.
I
If
have
I
done
had done it, you have.
I've done a card, yeah, which I'll just say, and then
Okay.
I'll tie it into the scene.
But for me, I would have had Bubba Ray and
Don't frighten
Devon.
me like that.
I would have Bubba Ray and Devon taken out Taz at the end of the show, both of them standing over, and then potentially looking at a triple threat to build to Devon and Bubba having sort of tension.
Or
That's
having
the
Taz
only
get
way.
a partner to go for the tag
Or
belts
possibly,
something like
because
that, you know, or
Taz
both belts
does
on the line.
you-
or something.
when you've got people like Sid in the company and Taz is your champion, he does need to show a little bit of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because if he is just dominant, what's the point in Mike Awesome? What's the point in Taz? What's the, Sid, sorry, coming because they're just the same bloody gimmick.
Point
you
of
know.
detail.
So I would have had what happened at the end of the start of the match happen at the end of the show to build into the next pay per view and have
Yeah.
a triple threat. Because obviously Bubba and Devon have had a feud in the past as well.
Well,
and
you
both
could have
of-
had Spike in it for Fatal 4-Way because you got to have
Something like
Spike
that,
to
the world,
throw
you
around.
build the world
and shit,
title
you know.
importance because
Yeah.
it's the team and all that.
all
sort of
this feels like everything's finished.
Yeah,
Everything.
it's just we've just wasted what could have been a decent feud for a 2.5 hour.
There was a lot of
pay-per-view
ECW
with
at this
no
point,
jeopardy
though, to be
that
honest.
the champion was going to lose.
And-
So I think it ends the show on a bit of a shit.
If you were starting ECW booking after this, I'm not sure you would worry and think, well, I've got to tie up any storylines because I think they've all been tied up.
Well, except
No.
for why Gertner was the
Yeah,
thing.
you have-
but that's the only story. What is this?
It's the money.
Right,
That's the only
let's
thing
sort
they
that
didn't tie up.
Right, let's sort that out for
The other one
done.
of the story
Right, next.
is Rod Price
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only story you need to tie up.
and Sid.
Everything else, done.
So, overall thoughts on the show? Jack?
Now, they're always easy to watch. I always think ECW shows. They're never like a slog. You know, sitting there going, "Oh my god, it's
No,
fucking Jerry Lynn v Barbarian."
Yeah.
Jerry Flynn, sorry, v
Jerry
Barbarian.
Flynn.
But it does end on a bit of a shit note, but I think it was okay to watch. There was some good parts in there. It felt like they was trying to evolve into a new style of more wrestling based. We can put on the best sort of wrestling shows, but then obviously that quickly descended back into pots and pans.
Well,
Yeah.
later on this year, they lose Taz and the Dudleys, though, so they've
Yeah.
lost the main thing.
And that, I think that, in fairness to Heyman, it's got to be a really difficult company to book
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
When you're
because-
the third biggest one and you call really pay.
and you can't get them down.
Yeah,
tied down.
I mean, they lose Sid within a
He
day.
must have known.
He
Sid
knew.
was-
Well, you've got a company who's going to nick the stars, and you've got a company who'll just nick everyone.
Yeah.
They ain't bothered who they nick.
Yeah.
Which Mikey Whipwreck who just did nothing with it.
Yeah, and then he come back.
Sam.
Oh, it was okay. I mean, it ain't the worst. It ain't the best. It's
I don't
It
think
is
it's the
what it
worst ECW.
No, you know the worst.
We've
That
seen a lot worse
that
than
comes
this.
later.
A lot
in
worse
2000.
in '97.
Yeah.
A lot
When we
worse in
watched
'97,
Jake.
but it is a lot shitter in like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, but at
when
that
he just
time,
becomes.
I don't think they've got any sort
I
of
know they ain't
any
got
sort
it,
of
but-
hope of doing anything other than just surviving at that point. They are
that
just
is
playing
more
to the
annoying than
audience.
this. This is like, okay, I'll get it. And at least you got some stars on there.
Yeah.
It's just obviously their money management. That's the problem.
Yeah. That is the biggest
So
difficulty.
it's like there's something there that you know them trying,
Yeah.
and it's like, ugh.
I thought it was okay. I enjoyed good 70% of it, but again, the actual storyline thread throughout did really miss the mark at the very least. Okay, match of the night then, Jack.
I'll go with Jerry Lynn, Rob Van Dam.
I've gone with RVD Lynn as well.
Because you've said that, I'm going to say to Jerry Guido. Why not?
The worst match of the night?
I mean, there ain't many to me that are inherently bad in terms of what they do in ring, but the title match is shit because it's the bubble one.
Yeah.
Because there's no jeopardy. But I will go and stop Tommy Dreamer because I feel like if it ever happened, no one was any further forward or further back in their character development. So I will go with Dreamer v Lance Storm.
Well, on that basis, I'll go with Taz Bubba because I think inherently that was the biggest problem with the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jack with Storm Dreamer just because it's a waste of Lance Storm.
Yeah.
In a way.
Oh, God, I disagree with that. MVP?
RVD, I mean, he's a star.
RVD for me.
Yeah, it's got to be RVD.
LVP?
The Dudleys probably come out looking a bit shit at the end, I think. They got all the big mystique and the big tag team, but then right at the end they've been shit canned by.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Candido's the right. Candido, you forgot about it.
Yeah. But he had the big.
To be fair,
I'm going with Candido.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He had the whole build. No doubt, if you watch the TV shows, he probably won the build for the world title match, and then he's got this insurance policy. My lips got.
He had the title match.
He had the title match. He had like a few moves, and then gone.
Yeah.
So he's Candido.
Yeah. So we take the task of rebooking Sid in ECW and doing it better. We didn't focus too much on the show, though Jack has rebooked this card as a whole. I've just done my rebooking of Sid, basically.
Sid and that's the card.
My rebooking was Sid, and I did keep it to he was there January to May.
On the basis that Jack's got the additional bonus of the rebooking of the card, I think we'll leave Jack till last and start with you then, Sam, for your rebooking of Sid Justice, or Vicious, or Psycho, and whatever descriptor you want.
Or you did.
Softball.
So, at the first pay-per-view in January, Guilty as Charged, 99, and I did research this. Although there's some shows that I don't know if there was pay-per-views or not. But I think there was just shows like Hostile City Showdown.
Yeah, them sort of super shows.
Yeah, because it said that was like shown and it was like over so many days, so I don't really look at it. But what I would do is I would have the Dudleys come out and challenge anyone, saying I'll win so many time tag champs. If they war, fuck it, they am now.
Yeah.
Them tag champs. And then Judge Jeff Jones will come out with Mike Awesome and Sid, the Powerbomb.
Yeah.
So bring them out, they would win the belts. Give them tag belts.
Skyscrapers.
Something like that. So they would feud with the Dudleys throughout January, and they would actually take out Big Dick Dudley.
Yeah.
Because clearly he's going to prison. So at least
clearly
this man is going to prison.
If he were in prison already, whatever. But that can feud with the Dudleys, you know, them big monsters, you know.
Yeah.
And Judge Jeff Jones, I feel like I've booked him a lot recently. But he's like,
got a gimmick,
you know, you've got the two, you know.
Yeah.
These are my two, whatever, magistrates, whatever you want to call them.
The magistrates.
So, Living Dangerously, which is the March pay-per-view, they retain over Balls and Spike because I think they'd have fun throwing Spike about.
Oh, God.
You know, imagine them both powerbombing Spike so much and, you know.
Spike.
Well, he'd do it, you know. It's sort of like,
you know, it's bad.
Yeah. And,
you don't have to do this, Spike.
And then I would say after that, Sid and Awesome would start feuding with Tanaka, and I've just put partner, so you could have anybody, you could have balls in there or whatever.
You choose, it's your book.
Yeah, well,
Who was his main? Oh, it was Mike Awesome, you'd say, but he wouldn't.
yeah, that's the thing as well. Tanaka would be brought in to try and, because he's feuding with Awesome in FMW, and I think ECW and FMW did do a show around this point. So that's how you could link that in. And he can have any other partners or whatever. Even bring in some FMW like Hayabusa and shit like that. Obviously, that'd still win. And then at CyberSlam, which I think is one of the shows, in April 99, they would lose the tag belts back to the Dudleys because of Jeff Jones. Like, he'd try it, but he'd like hook Sid or something like that.
Yeah.
He'd do something to Sid, not Awesome.
Yeah.
Sid would then attack Jeff Jones like he did on this show. And Awesome would defend Jeff Jones, and that's the feud you've got. And you've got like the powerbomb thing and what have you.
Sid and Awesome.
Yeah, Sid and Awesome. And then they would challenge, Awesome would challenge Sid to a loser leaves ECW at Hardcore Heaven. I was thinking about making it that the winner has to powerbomb the others, but then I thought about Nash and Sid in WCW where the ref got knocked out and Nash said that. And I thought, I ain't doing that. Let's just have it a normal match.
Yeah.
I felt on him. Yeah. I ain't having that. I ain't having that. I ain't having that with the loser leave stick.
Worst thing ever.
Yeah, that's bollocks, those. But obviously you got the powerbomb stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then Awesome would beat Sid, so Sid can leave then and he can get to WCW. And at least then, if Awesome does get to WCW, at least you got another feud there.
Oh, you're joking. Bischoff never would have paid any attention to that, but I know what you mean, though, yeah.
But, you know, at least you got that.
You're just crowning
and even, I know Awesome wore there at the time, but I think he was sort of in and out anyway, wore it because of FMW and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just thought with the powerbomb stuff, it makes sense. Like with Sid and Vader in WCW, you can do that here.
Yeah.
And it gives Sid a belt, and at least you can keep him about for a bit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do enough research, to be honest, because I thought that Sid was pretty much only in here for a month or two. I thought
I got surprised because I looked on Wikipedia, which is always useful.
Yeah.
But it said he was, I think after Tennessee was January to May.
Okay.
And then he went to WCW.
Well, I've started my rebooking at Hardcore Heaven 1999 as Taz goes through Candido and the Dudleys and says that there's nobody left for him to beat, and that he told Paul that either he gives him people to beat, or if he gets beat, he's leaving. So that's what Taz's mantra's been to Paul Heyman.
Still in my pants,
and this leads, I did, yeah, and this leads to to Sid walking out. That's it. Just Sid is, I'm going to be the one that beats Taz, and Taz thinks, I'll hang around and we'll wait for you to sort it.
Oh, come on then!
Between shows, Sid wants Taz, Taz wants Sid, but Heyman knows what's at stake if Taz loses. Doesn't want to lose Taz. Doesn't want to fight Sid, and also he knows that Sid is unreliable. I'm going to play off on the fact that he is being honest and saying,
baseball season?
Yeah, you're a softball guy.
What's the difference between baseball and softball?
You're wearing a softball hat. Sid, you're wearing a softball hat. You've got your softball gear on. You've got a bat. I know what your plans are.
Does he come back to the Simpsons show?
I'd play off on that. So the crowd want the match, but Heyman's the one that's stopping the match happening because he doesn't want to lose Taz if he lost, or even if he won.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to lose Sid because he doesn't trust that Sid will hang around, so he doesn't want to give his belt to Sid. So at Heatwave, Taz and Sid team up and they take on the tag team champions, the Dudleys. I would have them win, and Taz would warn Paul that he's not going to wait around forever, and that he'll walk out of... and then later on in ECW Hardcore TV, he'd walk out on a match between him and the Impact players, because I think the Dudleys left after Heatwave to go to the WWE. I know
they left about August, September.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd have them drop the belts to the Impact players, and Taz has sort of walked out on Sid just to keep the feud going. Heyman would want Sid to sign a long-term deal for an ECW title shot. But Taz gets mad at Paul for holding it out on money and basically saying, you're giving Sid a long-term contract. You never gave it me. It starts all these sort of issues between them. So he basically say, I'm going to hand the belt to Sid. And when he does that, he'd choke out Sid, and then Heyman can't hold this back no more.
Yeah.
So he books the match at Anarchy Rules between Sid and Taz. And Anarchy Rules, Sid versus Taz. Sid wins the match. Taz hands the belt to Sid, but an irate Heyman said, you didn't sign the long-term contract, and you've got another title defence against Mike Awesome.
Which was his debut.
Who debuts at Anarchy Rules. And then takes
that's the one
belt.
when he's in the crowd.
Takes the belt from Sid, and I think both Sid and Taz are pretty much gone by then anyway. So that'll be.
Sid was gone.
That'll be. I mean, if he did stay around, obviously I would.
Until 2000. So.
Yeah. Well, how big's that pad?
I need no.
You were like really small.
Everything's killing off Vince.
So Jack. 2000 and beyond.
So I'll do the card first for Hardcore
Yes.
Heaven, how I would rebook it. So
Yeah.
Taz would fight Candido in the first match for the world title.
Keeping that.
But the Taz mission would be banned.
Okay.
Because the last show before this, Taz fought Candido for the belt. Candido sells a neck injury,
Yeah.
but then Taz grabs him, throws him back in and puts him in the Taz mission.
Okay.
So I would have him to be banned. But Taz is going to win. Anyway, I might have had Candido win, but I thought that. The tag titles is Dudley's versus Balls and a partner of his choosing, which is going to be New Jack.
Ooh, Jack.
New Jack's been feuding with the Dudleys because Mustafa was the beneficiary of the Dudleys.
Oh, was that
like
at this point?
This was the thing. Yeah, Mustafa was financing the Dudleys or some shit. So the Dudleys will beat Balls and New Jack. Super Crazy v Tucker I keep. The Impact players are going to fight Dreamer and Douglas, but Douglas obviously leaves, so it would be Sabu, because Sabu is there.
Yeah.
And the Impact players would win. I would play off Dreamer versus Sabu. Here's Sid. He's fighting Spike, because Spike obviously was with him on the last pay-per-view, and Spike, you bastard, you powerbombed me, what you did that for? Well, I'm mad, ain't I? Well, come on, then, let's have a fight. I'm the giant killer, you remember that? Well, you because I'll beat you. So Sid beats him, probably in a table or a double table, whatever.
Yeah.
And the main event, because it's Hardcore Heaven, I would play off that it's Heaven for hardcore fans. It's RVD v Jerry Lynn in an Iron Man match to end the feud, and RVD would win. But Sid, he's just beat Spike at Hardcore Heaven. He's going to come out on TV 1 week since you booked me. He's going to stare down, literally, because he's small, Taz, and he wants the belt. So at Heatwave, which was in August, it's a no contest. Because Jeff Jones, who Sid beat up the bastard, he's going to bring in a debuting Mike Awesome, who's going to beat up Sid and Taz. We've all booked Sid and Mike Awesome.
Of course, it's just the easy booking, isn't it?
So the Anarchy Rules three-way dance, which was Taz, Tanaka and Awesome, has now removed Tanaka and got Sid in it.
What a difference! Tanaka and Sid.
Awesome would win the belt at Anarchy Rules, thanks to Jeff Jones, whatever. Taz would go out first. So Mike Awesome would powerbomb Sid through a table. Sid would then go off for a little bit. He'd return at November to remember after Mike Awesome defeats not Pat Tanaka, Masato Tanaka.
Yeah.
In the title match. And he would lay out Mike Awesome. And then, basically, all it is he's going to fight Mike Awesome at Guilty as Charged, which ties in with Judge Jeff Jones, the gimmick of Guilty and all that. So that's why I wanted to tie it in with. And Awesome would beat Sid anyway, and it would probably be like Sam, a loser. You know, if you lose your match,
it was not long after that,
and Sid leaves. Yeah, that would be it. Was not long after what?
He was having the right version. Book off.
Get out of here, Sid.
It wasn't long after Guilty as Charged that thing you went.
Yeah, I think he left quite early in 2000. Then.
Yeah,
it was the year.
I think that might be the pay-per-view where Taz. Oh no, he paid. No.
He
where he dropped it to Trina, but I don't think it is.
We had that pay-per-view on video, didn't we?
We had a lot of
few-
them over the VHS.
Yeah.
Good old
it was the one
VHS.
that had
You went
Chili
proper
Willy.
highway to hell on that. But
Chili Willy.
if you
Chili
feel
Willy.
that you could have rebooked Sid's time in ECW and done it differently or better, let us know on our website, which is bettercallcreative.org, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCCpod, or our Twitter, which is @BCCpod. We round out the episode as we always do, and as we continue to celebrate the man that is Sid in ECW, we have decided to look at not looking at Sid, look at monsters more known in WCW/WWE against mid-card talent from the ECW, much like what we got at Hardcore Heaven.
Or is it Monsters? That's fine, I can think it's fine.
Yeah, predominantly, yeah.
I just had made an enter.
Oh, okay.
That's fine, I've got it, that's fine.
Pull about your head. Well, we'll start with Jack then for his first. Kane,
Monster,
monster. He's a monster.
WWF. He won in WCW. The Roadkill.
Yes, what a match. Did that happen? That might have happened.
Roadkill was going to get a push.
He was going to fight
Cena.
Taker at Mania.
It's true, this is.
Who told you
in
this?
OVW.
Bruce Pritchard.
Did
Yeah, because he saw
Road in
Roadkill.
OVW.
Yeah.
He was going to get this big push.
he? Amazing.
And then that's all he rest.
Kane wins.
Cool. Lord Tensai
Nah.
versus Tommy Cairo. What a match.
Oh, fix the car.
Greatest.
Tommy's a main event. Ain't a fucking Abernega.
Greatest match ever, and as I am the number one Tommy Cairo boy, I'm putting over Tommy
Good.
Cairo.
Fucking Tommy Cairo.
No fucking Abernega, Tommy Cairo.
My match probably did happen. I think it did happen on SmackDown. Big Show.
Yeah.
It's the Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm putting over to Jerry.
happened. That's a good
I
one.
think it did lead up to Backlash.
Viscera, big monster, fat bastard. He's WWF. He wasn't in. Well, he was in ECW.
Yeah.
He's not
And he was
ECW
mid-card,
mid-card.
so is he fighting himself?
No, he's playing Hack Myers.
Oh.
The Shark.
He's definitely
Shark.
he's never gonna make it to the
Shark.
main event.
Hack Myers wins. He's got to win some point.
Balls
Your
Mahoney
boy.
is the obvious mid-carder versus a man that is synonymous with balls. It's the Machine from WCW because of that.
Who's the monster and who's the mid-card? I'm confused.
So I'm going to put over balls.
Bosh.
Right.
Bosh. Bosh. My next match is Yokozuna
Yokozuna.
This is just incredible.
Oh,
No,
that
no,
probably
it'll be
happened
Yoko.
as well, did it?
Probably.
Aldo and Yoko.
No, I think Yoko was a face at that point.
Great Carly, big monster, tall, giant man versus Jason.
Yeah.
Sensation. Carly, what an awful match that would be.
Well, I got Great Carly versus Chili Willy.
Oh, Chili Willy.
Chili Willy, get a match out of him. I'm going to put over Carly.
We trust you.
My next match is Vader v Hack Myers.
Oh.
Sharp.
I'm putting over Vader. Sorry, Jack. I'm going to put Vader on
Yeah,
there.
well, he would beat the shit out of him, wouldn't
Of course he
he?
would.
Hack wouldn't.
And he would just go sharp every time he got
I
it.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, great match, brother.
Yeti.
Yeti.
He's a monster.
He is.
Versus Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, I
Meanie.
forgot the blue.
The Blue Meanie's going over.
The Warlord and the Barbarian versus.
a tag
Yeah. Versus Danny Doring and Roadkill.
Yeah,
Oh,
obviously.
fucking
The only team in
Dory gets cops the ball.
Of course he does, yeah. Warlord's going over Danny Doring.
Yeah, Roadkill shakes hands with
With Barbarian. Thank you for saving me. Our next match is Brock. Lesnar, watch you pee. This is super crazy.
Oh, what a match.
Yeah.
Super crazy. I'm sorry.
I think Brock could go over, but I just want to see super crazy get fucking.
I think Brock's going over.
Yeah.
Sid.
Sid.
Not going fifth, because
Yeah.
why not?
Bloody hell, you won't even put him over.
Dudley.
Not snot.
That's not. And Sid wins.
Omos versus Little Guido. And I'm going to put over.
Proper Omos, he never wins.
No, Omos is winning this one.
Well, I've got Guido versus Kevin Nash.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll put it over Guido.
Well, my main is Loch Ness. Is
Of course he is.
versus 911. It would be the worst match I think that's ever happened. And Loch Ness is going over.
His Big Daddy coming out for the
I wish I could have had him, but he
for the
wore
999.
He wore hardcore.
999. Well, he was. He used a stool.
He's 111.
Sid Vicious versus Big Grimes, and I'm putting over.
Is he going to powerbomb him off the scaffold?
Sid Vicious wins.
I've got Sid v Scorpio, which probably did happen as well.
Yeah.
And I've got to put over Sid. Sid podcast.
Quite rightly so. That Sid ended a podcast that wasn't really about him, but then became a lot about him.
On for 3 minutes.
But if you could think of different monsters and different mid-carders from ECW, you can let us know on our website, which is spectaclecreative.org, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/VCCpod, or our Twitter, which is @VCCpod. Right then, we've got one more stop before we get off May's ride and head to June, and that stop is a limousine stop.
Don't get in that limo.
So don't put your foot in and out, shake it all about, Vince.
Smiling Paul.
Yes, it's the death of Vince McMahon, and that, my friends, will be one hell of a podcast. How the hell are you sorting that mess out?
I've been thinking for a week and I've come up with nothing.
It's a very, very hard. I think it's a really hard. I don't know, especially with the roster as thin as that as well. It's a very thin roster.
But they've got 3 shows.
Yeah, it's
Hacksaw's there though, so he might get in.
He did it.
But yeah, exactly. This show will feature Donald Trump, so we will be seeing the Donald during the podcast. And then Sam has all the power, and strangely enough, he's chose JCW as we are going to be checking out their Legends Night from
go on.
when was it? 2010,
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is the weirdest show in the world.
Yes.
I've gone through that.
You want to see old men?
He's fucking mad.
We've got old men.
I know, I've seen it.
There's a battle royal in there.
Royal Rumble,
Yeah,
50-man Royal
They always
Rumble by
did that.
a one-legged man.
We've just booked so many people who just do a
It's a
rumble.
JCW show without the clowns.
Yeah, but it's got headbangers.
Yeah.
So, that's all we want.
How do you start a Rumble? Hacksaw v Mosh.
That's the answer to the eternal question.
That's
There you
your
go.
choice.
But yes, join us then. And that just leaves me to say, enjoying his Hardcore Heaven, it is Jack Chan.
Goodbye.
And burning in Hardcore Hell, it is Sam Chan.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, folks. Balls.